Good morning. You are plugged into Long Island. This is Joe Rock for Long Island's number one rock station, 102.3 WBAB, and Long Island's number one hit music station, 106.1 BLI. This morning, my guests are Hal Eisenberg, the Executive Director of Windows of Opportunity, and Olivia Mignone, who is the Program Director for Shortstack Modeling Agency. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Thanks
morning.
for having us.
Oh, we're very welcome to have you out here. And Hal, let's start this morning by talking about Windows of Opportunity. Give us an idea of exactly what the program is.
So basically, Windows of Opportunity is a 501c nonprofit organization that was really created to design a shift in the way we educate and empower youth. And we do that through a variety of programs and curriculums. We have 4 programs in the arts, and we have 10 educational and leadership development curriculums.
Okay, so that means you're in the schools. We're talking education, and you're trying. What are the ages that you really work with?
I actually work with all ages. We actually have curriculums that start on the kindergarten level, and we do work up through the university level.
Oh, that's fantastic. So give us an idea what some of these programs are that you're doing. You said you have 10 educational programs. Give me an idea of what they are.
So one of our biggest programs is a program called the Inner You, which is a program that was designed to address issues of eating disorders and self-esteem in teenagers, because the statistics are ridiculous when we're dealing with young girls and young men who have eating disorders. We're looking at, I think it's 8 million people around the world have an eating disorder. So when you think about that type of number, you have to wonder, why isn't there any education on this in the school system?
And it sounds like the right place to be, especially, we hear about it so much more at the teenage level. And I'm very surprised we really don't hear much about it as being with males. Most of the time we hear about it with females. So I'm glad that you're covering that in the program as well.
Absolutely. We have to. I mean, out of the 8 million, 1 million men have, and that's of reported statistics, So, there's a little bit of stigma, especially when it comes to guys and machoism. It's like, I'm not going to come out and tell somebody I have a problem. I'm going to keep it inside. So those numbers are probably even on the low side.
Right.
So that's the point of having these curriculums. And, the way Windows of Opportunity is designed is we actually go into the schools, and it's not even just about addressing the eating disorder or whatever topic is in that curriculum. It's really getting to the root of what's going on inside of a person. It's like, what are you thinking? Like, who are you? Like, what do you want to be, and what do you stand for in this world? And really working around those themes and developing that type of focus as they grow and get older. So we're really about, developing those skills and creating leaders in the world.
Okay, now how long ago did you start Windows of Opportunity?
We were incorporated 8 years ago, but I think the vision and the idea probably started about 15 years ago. In the last 15 years, I probably have worked with almost 80,000 kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a large number.
That is a large number. I keep very busy.
All right, so now you stretch out too. So you started really in New York City, in the borough of Queens. You stretched out all over the city. You're also up in the Hudson Valley and on Long Island.
Yes.
How does that happen? How does that work out?
It's really word of mouth, I think. I think what happens, I do a lot of marketing and advertising, but I think what happens is our workshops and our trainings are so impacting and so inspirational. One teacher or one principal will call another principal, and all of a sudden I get a call from a college up in Hudson Valley. I heard about you. Can you come up here? What can you do for us? Then I'm up there, and then I'm in the city. Tomorrow I'm in Pace University. We're doing a big program this summer at St. John's University. So we're kind of like spreading our wings. Last year I was actually sent to Africa to do some leadership programs.
Wow.
Yes. Okay.
Now, one of the things with all these things you're doing, it must cost money.
Yes, it definitely costs money, and unfortunately, that is the hard part of running an agency. That's the hard thing to come by these days.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about what it's like fundraising for a 501c3 not-for-profit organization.
There's two sides to that story. Fundraising is really, really difficult, but the way Windows of Opportunity is designed, it's also very empowering, because a lot of our youth and their families and their parents get involved in fundraising. A lot of our programs have a fundraising aspect to it, built into it. So when we're running curriculums or we're running some programs in the arts, some of their goals at the end of their program is to run a major event, which sometimes has a fundraising component. Like, for example, we have this incredible fashion and modeling program, Shortstack. That is an 8-month program that you'll hear about in a few seconds from Olivia. And at the end of the year, they do this incredible fashion show that becomes our major fundraiser.
Okay. Once again, if you're just joining us this morning, we're speaking to Hal Eisenberg, the Executive Director of Windows of Opportunity, and Olivia Mignone, who is the Program Director of Shortstack Modeling Agency. And this is the perfect time to turn it over to you, Olivia, and ask you about Shortstack and where it began.
Well, Shortstack is, first of all, it's a fashion modeling program for teenage girls who have always been interested in the fashion industry, whether it be, photography or modeling or designing or whatever aspect it may be. But because the industry has such strict standards on height and weight and all of that, a lot of girls can't get into the industry. It's very competitive, very demanding industry. So we take young girls who have an interest in it and who have a passion for it, and we teach them the ropes of the industry. We do photo shoots and fashion shows. We teach them about self-esteem and eating disorders also. Hal Eisenberg's other program, The Inner You, that he spoke about, comes in and teaches about that. We teach about HIV/AIDS awareness, confidence, all of that tied in together. And then we have the one big fundraiser at the end of the year, which is our annual fashion show.
Okay, and that's coming up in June, correct?
Yes, June 22nd.
And if anybody wanted to find out about that and maybe purchase tickets to the event, how would they find out about that?
They can find out through our website. It's woo.shortstack.org.
Okay. And also, if people wanted to advertise in your journal for your event, they could do that as well, and they could get the information there also.
Yes, we have boosters and advertisements, plenty of ways to support the program and donate to us via the website.
Okay. Now, one of the things I really like about the program is that it's not just, okay, we're going to do a fashion show and we're going to go out there and raise money. It's an 8-month program. And
yes,
like you said, you're talking to them about eating disorders. You're talking to them about self-esteem, which I think really, if you're going to be involved in modeling, you need to have this thick skin because of everything that goes on.
Yeah, definitely. It's, like I said, it's a very, very demanding industry. So many girls get turned down a million times, and there are so many girls that never actually ever get into the industry because it's so competitive. But yeah, we basically we teach our girls to have thick skin and to be confident, and even if you're told no, to love yourself for who you are. And a lot of our girls each year, they become like a family and a sisterhood, we call it, actually. So it's a really good support system for them.
Okay, now how many years have you been doing Shortstack for?
This is our 6th year now.
Okay, and let me ask you, where do you see the differences? Now, I imagine that some of the girls who started in the program 6 years ago continued and others have joined in. And how do you see the difference in the lives? You've been there since the beginning. You haven't left, but you have seen girls come and go.
Yeah, it's interesting because you definitely do see a change in the girls from one year to the next. Some of the girls stay with us, some move on to other things. We have girls that move on to photography and design. But each girl always stays with Shortstack in some way, which, we love, of course. And it's just definitely, you really see a confidence boost in them when they step out, on the runway, on the fashion show at the end of the year. It's definitely just such a major difference. Even you can just see in their posture and the way they present themselves and the way they speak. A lot of them are just a lot stronger.
Okay. Now, you started the program. Where did the seed from it come from? Where did everything begin?
Well, I personally always wanted to model. Never could because I'm only 5'1". And I remember when I believe it was my first year of high school, I joined a fashion show, and it was my first time doing any sort of fashion show whatsoever. And Hal Eisenberg and Windows of Opportunity was actually helping out with the fashion show, putting it together and everything. And, we were talking one day, and Hal Eisenberg said something to me about how I should really get into modeling professionally. And I was like, well, I can. I'm only 5'1", and Hal didn't know anything about the fashion industry and told me I should do it anyway. So we just got into a conversation about the industry and how it has such strict standards and everything. And he basically just told me that I should do it anyway, that I should just go for it. So I went home and I kind of thought about it. Wasn't sure if it was something that I really was prepared to do yet. I spoke to my best friend, Tanya Rios, who is now also a program director. I spoke to my parents about it and just really sat on it for a while. And we kind of came up with the idea for Shortstack together from that.
Now, one of the things I think that's important about Shortstack is a lot of people might just be thinking in their head, oh, this is just, a bunch of girls that just want to be models. And it's not really like that. And if you don't mind if I categorize it like this, and you'll tell me if you mind or not, is that these could be girls who are too short, too pierced, too tattooed, too unique with their hairstyles, too heavy, too anything.
Yep.
They just get to be themselves.
Yeah, we have pretty much no guidelines or standards whatsoever. We just look for girls who have a passion for the fashion industry, who we think will fit with the program and with the other girls well, who have a great personality and will fit that sisterhood feeling that we're looking for. But yeah, it's mostly just about potential and passion. And
your stock phrase, your motto?
Breaking the rules, setting new standards.
And Hal, I see you're about to say something.
Well, I think in the larger vision, I think that you sense at the fashion show when you see the girls hit the runway, is that this is more than just a program. This is more than just something that falls under the umbrella of Windows of Opportunity. This is a vision and a dream to actually go out there and shift the fashion industry. There's got to be at some point in society where we say enough is enough. What are the messages that are being sent? We need to start talking about how everybody is beautiful for who they are, period. If the fashion industry is just putting women on the runway who are also beautiful, who are 5'11" and 100 pounds. They're beautiful also for who they are. But what kind of messages that send to the average girl that is, the average girl in society is 5'3" and 165 pounds. It doesn't match. There's no correlation. So at some point, there's got to be a shift in the industry, and I think Shortstack is what's going to make that shift. I think they're actually going to change the entire fashion industry.
Yeah. Well, once again, if you're just joining us, we are speaking this morning to Hal Eisenberg, the Executive Director of Windows of Opportunity, and Olivia Mignone, who is the Program Director of Shortstack Modeling. Now, in trying to make this change, you have made inroads. You have done magazine shoots. You have also gotten coverage on television. You've had some of these models who you spoke of, models who were working in the industry, come out and visit you with words of encouragement. Mm-hmm. How has all that come about? How has that felt, with all that support?
It's really great. Like you said, we've had models who have been on America's Next Top Model and are now working in the industry in other ways. They've come into rehearsals and speak to our girls about the industry. And it's just, I don't know, it's just an awesome feeling to see that there are people out there in the industry that also agree with what we're trying to do. Because even like Hal said, even if you are 5'11" and 110 pounds, you have to realize that the industry is just not accepting everybody that it should be, and it's not sending the right image that it should be.
The message is really powerful. It's to me, I think it's phenomenal. And a really, really good feeling when the entertainment industry is stepping up and stepping into our programs and saying we want to share in your vision and mission. For example, this year we're honoring Chaskey Spencer from the Twilight films, who's done a lot of incredible work with the Indian reservations and with the American Red Cross and with another organization called United Global Shift. And that's a huge name for us. For somebody from the Twilight saga films to be like, we want to be part of Windows of Opportunity is incredible. So I think it's a rush. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and and the event, the Shortstack Modeling Show, is also a fundraiser. So once again, if people wanted to know about it, if they wanted to be involved, to buy a ticket, to take out an ad, what is the easiest way for them to find it?
Go online at wooshortstack.org.
There you go. So now you also, with these fundraising, is helping to run all these other programs that you do. And obviously a lot of good have we discussed here with the Shortstack. Tell us a little bit more about some of the other programs that you haven't mentioned yet.
We have this incredible program that I think the WBAB audience would be really interested in. We have a program called Rock Your Heart Out, and it's a 3-tier music leadership program where we bring in young bands who are interested in learning how to write songs, learning about the recording process, and then taking their songs, which always have a positive leadership tone to them, and creating music events around that music. We have an event coming up on June 2nd in Queens, where we have 100 local musicians coming out and fans and everything. We have like 7 bands on stage, and they're just happy to have a safe place to come and be able to express themselves. So that's one of our programs. I'm trying to think what else. We have so many. We have 14 programs altogether. So it's like, so Rock Your Heart Out is a big one. The Inner You we talked about before, and Shortstack. We have 10 curriculums, so we address issues in bullying. We have an HIV awareness curriculum. We have a program called Love in Action, where we create leadership around sustainable solutions around the globe.
Well, I just want to take you back for a second to talk about the bullying program, because I know at one point, all of a sudden it became like a darling of the media to talk about bullying. Right. All of a sudden, one day, I think it was Ellen DeGeneres got on TV and was like, look, you know what? But your program predates that.
Absolutely. I mean, the bullying program for us actually started back in 1997. Before the agency was even incorporated, it was actually one of the first curriculums that I was involved in writing. Bullying has been a problem that's been around for years, and it's incredible to me that it's actually one of my #1 bookings right now. But I have a really different approach to dealing with the issue of bullying, because, I mean, there's a lot of information out there about how to handle bullying and what to do and who to go to for help. But I really believe it goes back to what I was originally saying before, is about that self-esteem. It's about what you're feeling inside and learning about who you are as a human being. And our curriculum around bullying builds on those themes and those lessons. And we try to go in with that perspective.
Well, I just wondered, I don't know if you have an opinion on this or not, but we're going to find out. I kind of get the feeling that bullying has kind of gone to a different level in this day and age with the internet and social networking. Do you feel that that's an accurate description?
Absolutely. I think it's a major issue. I think social media and Facebook and Twitter, I think they're extensions of who a person is. So I think if a person grows up not knowing how to handle their emotions and not knowing how to handle their anger, it's extended to Facebook, and there's no real education or policing going around Facebook. You get on there and say anything to anybody, and there's a safety behind that because you're not face to face with a person. There's not that adrenaline of when we were kids and we would fight in the schoolyard and be like, get in front of the person with your fist up and be like, oh no, I don't want to do this, or get into a battle. Now it's like we could just get on the keyboard and say whatever we want. We could express whatever feelings we want and not think about the repercussions behind that. So I think it's a major issue that is going to get bigger and bigger, and we're going to have to contend with. A lot of the suicides that are happening are because people don't know how to deal with the emotions and what they're reading on Facebook.
Okay. Well, once again, if you're just joining us, we're speaking to Hal Eisenberg, the Executive Director of Windows of Opportunity, and Olivia Mignone, who's the Program Director for Shortstack Modeling Agency. So now I want to ask this question here. One of the things that I really find fantastic about your programs is that what you actually do is teach the people who are part of the program to go on to teach more. So really, Olivia runs a program, which is the Shortstack Modeling Agency, but originally she was part of a Windows program.
Absolutely. Our program is really about empowering youth to become leaders and become their own visionaries and to self-express themselves how they see fit. So when I actually met Olivia, she was actually part of the HIV leadership program. And that's how she got involved in the fashion show. And that particular fashion show that she was talking about originally was a fashion show fundraiser at a local school that was raising money for an HIV awareness organization. It wasn't even raising money for Windows of Opportunity. And then from there, I got to learn what Livy's dreams were and what her passions, and Windows was empowering her to follow that dream and that passion, and that's how Shortstack started. And there's tons of examples of that, throughout Windows of Opportunity. The way the agency is actually structured is every program has an adult mentor, but there's actually a youth or a young person program coordinator actually running the program.
So now, Olivia, you're still in your teens, correct?
Yes. Well,
okay.
21. Just
turned
turned 21.
All right. See, I lose track of all these things. All right, so you're 21 years old now, and you were 15 when you started the program.
Yes.
Okay, and you have had girls who have graduated into different points of leadership in your program as well.
Yeah, each year we appoint assistant runway directors who are basically role models in the program to help teach the girls, things like how to walk the runway and how to pose for photo shoots. We also have other program directors. Our two this year are Gabriella Nejlia and Julia Volpe, who help us do a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff, getting ready for the fashion show, finding sponsors and donations. Julia has been with us for about 5 years now as a model. She just became a program director this year. Gabby's been with us for about 2 years, I believe. So, it's basically just, the amount of passion and dedication that we see from the girls. There's definitely room to move up within the ranks almost.
And each year when you do the fashion show, the centerpiece of the event is the AIDS walk that you do.
Yes.
Will you speak a little bit about that?
Yes. One of our segments in the fashion show, we usually have about 7 to 8 segments, which include sponsors from Hot Topic. We have Delia's this year also. We've had Banana Republic in the past, David's Bridal. One of them is the HIV/AIDS walk, where it's the one segment out of the whole fashion show where the girls get to pick their own clothing from their own closet to represent themselves. And the whole segment is basically just to promote the whole idea of the fashion show, basically, almost, HIV/AIDS awareness. And that's what the fashion show raises money for, is Windows of Opportunity's HIV/AIDS awareness program. So we, of course, always have that dedication in the show each year.
Okay. Well, once again, if you're just joining us, we're speaking to Hal Eisenberg, the Executive Director of Windows of Opportunity, Olivia Mignone, the Program Director, Shortstack Modeling Agency. Before we run out of time here, once again, I just wanted to say the fashion show is on
June 22nd.
Where is it?
It's in Midtown Lofton Terrace in Manhattan on 5th Avenue.
Okay, and the easiest way if someone wanted to buy tickets or take out an ad in the Journal?
You can go online at WOOshortstack.org.
And actually, that is the Shortstack website.
Yes.
And if somebody wanted just information about any of the programs that you do with Windows of Opportunity, what would be the easiest way for them to find you?
They would actually go to WOOinc.org. So it's wooinc.org.
Okay. And now, what other events do you have coming up in the near future? You mentioned Rock Your Heart Out on June 2nd,
right,
which I'm sure they can find out about the website. And Shortstack is coming up on June 22nd at the Midtown Loft in Manhattan. Any other events on the horizon that we see?
We have so many events. I mean, we're always empowering youth to follow their dreams. We have one. We're doing a peaceful march in Central Park to help support the maltreatment of horses. That's also in the early morning, 11:30, 12 o'clock of June 2nd. We're doing that. We're working on Summer Leadership Institute that we're going to be running at St. John's University for 6 weeks between July and August. And
people can join that event?
Yeah, if they're interested in being part of that program, they need to contact me at WOOinc.org. My email address is on that website, all my contact information. And there's a ton of events coming up in September. We're going to be doing an LGBT mixer, LGBT being lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender mixer for the LGBT youth community. We're going to be doing an outdoor music festival in October, and then we're doing a Dream Out Loud festival. We're trying to put together an international HIV awareness conference where the conference is happening in different places around the world all at the same time, and we're going to link them computerized.
Oh, that sounds really wild.
Yes.
And I imagine that if there's any school administrators out there who have interest in either one of your programs, they can certainly contact you through those websites. One more time.
WOOshortstack.org.
WOOinc.org.
So once again, my guests this morning have been Hal Eisenberg, the Executive Director of Windows of Opportunity, and Olivia Mignone, who is the Program Director of Shortstack Modeling Agency. And once again, I want to thank you for coming out this morning.
Thank you.
Okay, and you've been plugged into Long Island. This is Joe Rock for Long Island's #1 rock station, 102.3 WBAB, and Long Island's #1 hit music station, 106.1 BLI.